So this company here is looking for more window replacement and patio door replacement leads. And as you can see here, they service, well, no clue. They service Arizona. So it took me a while, scrolling down from like the hero section from the menu. There's nothing in the menu that says Arizona. But if I scroll here just beneath the hero section, we'll find that they service Arizona. Now, I don't really know where in Arizona. It could be the entirety of Arizona, right? The entire area. We'll probably discover that later. First thing that I would like to say, the menu looks pretty good. The problem with the menu right now is that when I start scrolling, everything just disappears. So I don't really have anything to, I don't see the menu. So let's say I would like to make a purchase and I'm somewhere here and I'm looking for the button, it might be too much work. I'm very lazy, right? So it might be too much work to scroll back up to hit here. And that's how most consumers or many consumers think. And they, if they don't actually see a button or a call to action here, they might just click away, right? Even though you do have it right here, right? So in your case, I would probably, sorry about that. So in your case, I would probably have the menu scroll along. I would just minimize this logo, maybe put it to the side. In this case, I would probably hide everything until this sub menu here. That way the menu scrolls along, and I would add a call to action here, just something as simple as get a quote or some kind of like call to action with a number. Or you could just have like this menu here, this one in the middle that has your logo and this number, have that scroll along. But again, turn this more into a button that looks very sexy, that looks good to click on, right? Right now it's kind of right. So now as we scroll down, like I said, with this site, you might want to mention that you service Arizona, like the entirety of Arizona. Mention your brand name and then also mention where you service. And I would do that in this section here. I would just like completely just X this, so remove it completely from this section of your website, right? You have a beautiful background. You need to tell me what you do, or at least tell me about yourself and where you know what areas you service. That way, if I land on your homepage and I don't know your company, right, I know that I'm in the right place. A good thing is also to probably repeat brand name throughout the homepage and throughout the entire website, especially since you have a pretty generic website name, which is keyword, right? It's keyword dense, where you have best window replacement. It's a great domain, by the way, but it does not align with your brand. So if someone clicks this, they're expecting the company to be called or to be named Best Window Replacement. And in your case, we have a different brand name than the URL. So that's going to cause a bit of like, disconnect there. And you might actually have people that click away because they're like, I'm probably on the wrong website because, your brand name is different than your URL. So those are those minor things that can help increase your conversion. Now, somewhere along here, I would like to have a bit more information about your company, maybe 3 reasons why I should keep scrolling, right? Why I should continue looking through the homepage. It could be you provide free estimate. Maybe there's something unique about your windows or the process, right? Just 3 different things that would entice me to stay on your website longer. Look no further than LJ Neal. And so here, right, this is all right. This is already, you're trying to sell them. I would probably focus more on branding here, especially again, since your website doesn't connect with your brand. I would probably just use that section there for introducing your company. How long have you been in the community? Have you been doing this kind of like work? And, maybe just mentioning your reviews. Maybe you have a 5-star reputation on Google, Facebook, Yelp, wherever. I would mention it up here. And yeah, right in the menu or in the hero section or just beneath the hero section. Until now, I don't really have a really good reason why your company is better than another company, right? So yeah. Now, if we scroll along and we're scrolling down, we now see a bit of information about the services. Now, the images are clickable, but words are not, which is not really good in my opinion. Choose personal service, learn more about us, professional. Yeah, you'd want to maybe revamp this, have a bit more attractive or call to actions. It could be like something free or and then also probably make the entire section clickable if possible. So it's not to say that this won't work, but there are better ways of like fitting that content onto that page, onto this section, so that it works even better, it converts even better for leads. Now, this is great. You have a review section on your website. I love seeing that. The problem with this is, or not necessarily a problem, but you should also have mentioned this up top, because it took me a while to scroll past like 2 or 3 sections in order to get there. Put it up top somewhere in your menu or in your hero section that you have a 4.8 rating on Google and that you have 21 reviews there, right? Just mentioning this up top would have like kept me a bit more interested. Now, right now, I'm reviewing your website, so I'm gonna have to go to your website. But generally speaking, just based on like everything until here, right, going back up, I would have probably clicked away and looked for a more professional looking company, especially if I'm gonna spend like thousands or hundreds of dollars on on windows or doors, right? I want a company that does it right the first time. So now, if we look here, we can see that everything is being live through your Google business profile. So I guess this also linked. I'm not too sure. I don't know if it's linked. So this one is connected to your Google Maps. For these here, I'm not too sure. I don't know if it's connected or not. It looks like it is. It looks quite reputable, but in any case, I would like to say, right, if you're going to add reviews to your website, make sure that each review links back to your Google My Business profile, or at least that it looks legit. This one is not that bad. It's pretty decent. Why we're here, the best choice. So it seems like the main service you're selling is window replacement, which is fine. If that's the case, it would be great to see a bit more imagery of windows or just before and after jobs that you've completed, because yeah, right now it's not necessarily given that. There's just a random person here. I guess, yeah, it makes sense for like the personalized customer service if you're gonna hit that. But yeah, I would rather, like, if I would design this site, I would make it like very light looking, where you see a lot of maybe imagery of windows or just before and after jobs. So that would actually help me trust you more, or just see that you actually know what you're doing, right? So yeah, just my personal preference. And I think their average consumer is probably also going to think that, maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, they're looking for proof that you know what you're doing and that you have done similar jobs or larger jobs, so that, for their little, maybe 1 bedroom or 4 bedroom house, they know that they're in the right hands. So this is always good to have. So I'm not going to knock this too much or just be negative about this, but you could probably put this in like one line, or just make sure that it looks a bit more fitted onto the page. But at least it's there. You are linking out to all of these pages. I would like to, well, we need to check, but yeah, you should at least make these no follow links. So it's great to link out, but you don't want any kind of like link juice going out to those additional like platforms. Corporate vision, Family Business Award. So this is great. You could have added this somewhere up top where you talk about your company. I would have like made that more of a selling point, right? Right now it's at the bottom, and not necessarily, yeah, it's not necessarily selling. It's great that you have it, but I would put it more up top and wrap it around with a bit of text, a bit of information about your company, since you got like this award. And if you have any kind of like other awards, I would add it also there. Same for like these ratings. I would probably put them a little bit higher, or at least mention one or two, the BB rating, or I know that Chamber of Commerce, that's also a pretty good one. Yeah, like I said, with this section here, nice that you have it. I think it's great. Google probably scans your website and is able to like pick up on this, and it's better than nothing. But you'd want a page for every single one of these areas, and maybe even more pages depending on how large that area is. Because I see this area, for example, Phoenix is a pretty large area, so you'd want to maybe silo that, where you go from Phoenix to the different neighborhoods in Phoenix. And that way, you're telling Google exactly where, or where you service. So for whatever reason, I see this moving. I thought it was like an ant on my website on my computer. Anyways, so if we look down here, we see a repeat of your menu. I would probably add a bit more detail to it. So maybe a section, a column where you have all of your services, a column where you have your socials and your logo. So down here, rather than just having this, I would just repeat your branding. So that's something that I'm missing throughout the website. Have your branding a bit more prominent, especially here. I'll probably add it again, your logo and a bit about your company. followed by a call to action somewhere at the bottom. I do see here that you have your, I think this is your license, Arizona license number. I would probably add that up top also to show that you are a real company. Well, not just that you're a real company, but that you are, you're certified, right? Yeah. So if we head over to the other pages, we will essentially see that you don't really have any sub pages for these main pages. You're missing service area pages, which in my opinion is just, yeah, it's weight on your website. It's not gonna help you. Just having it like this is not gonna help you, right? So yeah, this here is pretty decent. So why choose us? You have quite a bit of information about yourself. I would add this also to your homepage and to every page on your website. So for window replacement and door replacement, I'll probably have a lot of sub pages, so supporting pages for these pages. I would localize those pages as much as possible, right? So that it's covering like all of the areas that you're in. And if you want to go deeper, create a location pages and then create service pages for each of those locations, targeting these two items. So you'd go from your home page to your location page, and then from your location page to window replacement, and then from your location page to patio door replacement. That way you stand the best chance for ranking for window replacement in Arizona, right? And not just Arizona, but window replacement. Let me see what areas you had there. So let's say Cave Creek, right? So window replacement Cave Creek, or window replacement Phoenix. So yeah, those are things that I would like initially just change about the website. In any case, you do have a website here, so that's decent. I would also have a contact. So here, it's kind of like hidden away in one of like the menu items. Add a large button here, a blue button or a red button, where you lead them to this page, because this page is pretty important. That's where a lot of leads can come through. So yeah, those are things that I would probably initially fix. There's a lot more that can probably dive into that you're not doing at the moment. Anyways, that's it for this audit. If you're watching this and you have a website that you'd like me to have a look at and just like give my feedback on that site, just let me know. I'm happy to do a couple of these per week as I have time, and I'll post the results and also like send you a copy. And if you want like a deeper, more thorough audit of your website, yeah, you can also do that. And so just head over to my site or drop a comment below this video. If you head over to our website, just click free SEO audit and it'll bring you to a form. Fill out the information there and I get a notification that you're looking for an audit, and I'll give you that audit, right? So besides that, like I said, we help with, or I haven't said, but we help we build websites, we provide website support, mainly WordPress support, and then we also do local SEO for home service businesses. And what that look like is just basically, right, we build your website that's pretty good technically, and then with the proper site structure on page, and then on a monthly basis we add more content, we add more links, and we add more content to your Google My Business after it's optimized. That's pretty much our SEO process, and it works really well. Again, if you have any questions, just drop it below in the comment section. I'll probably respond to you personally or create a video about that and then tag you, right? Either way, happy to help. Cheers.